Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Matthew Jacobs, Albert Dennis, Rachel Jacobs here with the professional storm responders coming to you tonight to discuss the potential for severe weather in Ohio all the way into the Great Plains states. We're going to go into detail about that here in a little bit. But first, before we get started, just wanted to do a special shout out to Rachel Jacobs, who's been doing a lot of work here behind the scenes to kind of make a lot of this stuff that we're doing here recently a thing. I don't know if we've said it or not, but Al Dennis and I will be traveling back to Hamvention again this year. Rachel's also got us involved in a couple parades coming up this year, as well as some summer reading programs. We're going to go and read some weather books to some children. And so we're definitely looking forward to that. And thank you to Rachel for all the time and effort she put into making that happen. Definitely wanted to make everybody aware of that. So a lot of hard work being put in by Rachel. Al and I, we just come on and blah, 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 blab. And we don't really
Yeah,
put,
we're good at that.
yeah, we don't really do a whole lot of work. So just wanted to say thank you to Rachel for all the hard work she's been putting in lately. Also to Al, who, I know a lot of you know that he's involved with amateur radio, but I think he deserves a little pat on the back for the net control he's been running with Skywarn, been putting in a lot of time into that. So that needs to be commended as well. As we all know, Skywarn Amateur Radio is the a big key into keeping everybody safe during severe weather days. So not only to him, but everybody involved with his Skywarn uh, amateur radio. Sorry, I'm no, we juggle a lot of things here, so there's a lot of different parts of Skywarn we're involved in between all of us. So Skywarn amateur radio, and just wanted to give a quick shout out to Al and say thank you for all the hard work you do for your communities and keeping everybody safe, Al. So thank you for that. Thank you to Rachel for the hard work. And now that that's out of the way, I think we can go ahead and get started on talking about this weather event coming up. Al, if you want to go ahead and screen share, we can start talking about the event that's coming our way tomorrow.
Very good, Matt. And yeah, the don't leave yourself out. I know you work hard, just as hard up there doing your stuff that you have to do with your normal life, plus keeping up on radar on the storm stuff that comes in and out. So give me a second here. I will screen share this. There we go. Cut over here real quick. What we're looking here, and I'll back out, get a national view. But what we're looking here, we're seeing this low pressure forming over here. Mercy, which state is that? What's that northeast Colorado?
Right.
Right above New Mexico.
Yes, that would be Colorado.
Okay, there's where the low pressure is. I'm not used to hollering out on these western states, but you can watch it coming over, and the big low pressure is forming. You can see it's already throwing, the weather up to the northeast, but it's pulling up some moisture too, and that's where it's going to have a lot of people paying attention because of how the dew points are setting. And you can see snow to the northwest, up in Canada, up above the UP, a little bit of the UP, getting snow there. UP gets a little bit more than just a little, but they're used to it up here. I got family up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. A foot of snow up there is not really like an inch to us down here in Ohio. But you can see here over towards Iowa, that low pressure starts forming. These 980 millibars. It's bringing down, like we say, it's counterclockwise what the low pressure rotate, and as it's pulling up warm, moist air as it approaches our area, on the backside, it's pulling down uh, cold, moist air most of the time. Not just the cold front, but the it normally brings snow and stuff with it. So as this thing progresses, you'll see this line. This is a quasi-linear convective system. You'll see this line start forming up, and that's where the biggest threat of potential weather is going to hit. You see right here along the Illinois, Mississippi, the Illinois and Indiana line coming down through Paducah, down towards the Little Rock area, Memphis area. We're looking at this is going to be around 9 p.m. Friday night is the screenshot we're looking here. And that's when it's going to get into our area, Matt.
That's correct, Al. Really quick before we move on and talk more about Ohio, just for people that are new to weather or maybe not might be familiar, can you kind of explain what a quasi-linear convective system means, Al?
Absolutely, Matt. What it is, just a whole line of storms. They're not connected, but you can have multiple different storm systems along this line. And you'll see these a lot in the spring and summertime as you'll get a whole line starting up in the Great Lakes, going all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. They're usually one big low pressure moving through the area.
Thank you, Al. Yeah, and as you can
It's hard to describe this because I'm sitting here doing all these absolutely wonderful hand gestures and movements and showing the flow of stuff.
but yeah, so as Al said, when it gets to the Indiana Ohio border, it's going to be an overnight event. It's going to be a nocturnal event. It seems to be the way it always goes here in Ohio. The good news, bad news for the state of Ohio: wind is going to be the main threat in our area for this system. Back into, like Al said, I believe it's like the Davenport, Iowa area, that Western Illinois, and then down into the Mississippi, the Delta region down there. There's going to be a second circle of a chance for moderate severe weather tomorrow. And that's where the main tornadoes threat is going to be for Ohio. It's going to be widespread damaging winds. That is what we're going to be looking at for our areas tomorrow. As you can see, for the main line even gets to our area, up around, I believe that's going to be.
Matt, are you showing radar?
No, you're still showing pivotal.
Okay, yeah, I'm showing the wind gust.
Right. So it would be up in my area, which is Van Wert County. So one county below us and to the right, that would be Auglaize. You can see that's the St. Mary's area. We're looking at 54 plus mile an hour wind gust as this storm starts, the system starts to blow through.
Matt, it's showing 66. 56,
okay, well, now that you moved it, it's in the 60s on a line from about Van Wert, Auglaize, Mercer, down into Darke County, Preble County, Butler County, all the way back into
down by Versailles, Indiana.
That's correct. So,
well, actually, Matt, you can probably say other than a couple counties right there. Here it is in the 60s, all the way down in Jefferson County, down in Louisville, Kentucky.
So, as you can see, while a lot of people like to focus on the tornadoes, and rightfully so, we here at Professional Storm Responders, we have a saying that sometimes an EF0 tornado would be better than a widespread wind event like this, because an EF0 or an EF1 tornado is going to hit a very concentrated area where, as you can see, it goes from northern Ohio all the way back into central Kentucky. You can see widespread power outages, homes damaged, trees down, which blocks roads. et cetera, et cetera. So, unfortunately, even though we're not in the main threat for tornadoes, in a lot of ways, we have a chance to see the worst of the weather, our general area, come Friday.
Absolutely, Matt. And it's not just, hey, there's something happening right now. We're constantly looking well in advance. We're watching next week for another potential system that might be moving through. And as it gets closer and some of the radars get more reliable, then we'll come back to you with that information. But like Matt was saying, you can see this is what you would consider a quasi-linear convective. You can see the whole line of it there. You can see the broken parts of it. But as we put this in motion and move it on, you can see starting from Toledo coming down through almost Dayton, Cincinnati, into Louisville. You can see it jumps down to uh, man, I can't remember, Hopkinsville area, down through Memphis area. So you can see that it's a big line. But at this time, we are going to be about 1 a.m. Saturday morning. That's what this threat's going to come through. So,
and really quick, Al, I just want to, before you move the model, the crazy thing is, if you look back up here in Iowa, where they're going to have a chance for widespread tornadoes earlier in the day, snow is going to be creeping in that same area, not even less than 12 hours later. So that tells you the storm system is going to be a quick mover. The cold air is going to be right behind this severe line of storms, or quasi-linear line of storms, and really pack a punch. So,
absolutely. And they're going to be moving quick, like you said, Matt. Well, let me see if I can get a speed on this. Keep going.
Yeah. So really quick, while we have a minute, while Al is looking up some stuff here, also just wanted to make sure to update you on a couple things. Thank you, first of all, to everybody who participated in our book giveaway. Thank you to Angie. Oh, and to shout out our winners. Monday, Angie Kennedy won. Tuesday, it was Jalen Huffman. Wednesday, Megan Parker. And I'm sorry, Megan, if you see this, every time I hear that name, I can't help but think of the little sister from Drake and Josh. So I definitely like your name. That's awesome. Thursday, Cassie McCarran. And Friday was Janet White. So congratulations to all of our winners, and thank you to everybody who participated. And stay tuned to Professional Storm Responders, because here very soon we're going to be having another giveaway, and I think you guys will definitely like what we have to give away this time.
Absolutely, Matt. And we've got some sponsorships that's helping us out with this, and this is not nothing that none of us is getting involved with, where we get money out of anything or anything like that. We're making sure everything goes right back to our viewers. Safety is here at our storm team. Safety is our number one priority.
And that's correct, Al. Really quick, do want to shout out those sponsors. Thank you to T&J Small Town Sounds. Big town quality on a small town budget. Thank you to T&J Small Town Sounds. Also, thank you to, give me 1 second here, Jessica Schott for Usborne Books. You can find her on Facebook. Her page is called Adventures Between Bookends. Thank you so much for giving us the books to give away. I think people will definitely appreciate that, or definitely appreciated that. I know we did. So we definitely are glad to be partnered with both of you. Also, a future sponsor, Chris Scalf. He is very serious about community safety. So when he saw our post about sponsoring, he was more than willing to throw in some money to help our cause. So thank you to Chris Scalf as well. And we also have some potential future sponsors coming. So even if it doesn't work out, we do appreciate you at least taking the time to give us a consideration. So thank you to all of our current and possible future sponsors for being involved with Professional Storm Responders and understanding that safety and education comes first with the Professional Storm Responders.
Absolutely, Matt. And I brought up here, and everybody's looking at it. The screen here. This is our visibility map, and we see during the storms when these rains and stuff move through, we can be down to a half a mile of visibility, which it is dangerous. But you add in that, add on heavy rain, and then again, I'm looking at 1 a.m. Eastern time. Uh, that's going on in the middle of the night, half mile visibility, pouring rain, driving wet roads. So be very careful if you're going to be out during that. And I'll just say between midnight, especially along the Ohio Indiana border, anywhere between say 11 o'clock and 2 a.m. Be very careful with your driving because you can see here that there's 1 mile, there's half mile, 0.6. But we really want you guys to be careful because, like I said, the winds are going to be gusting up into this will be this Preble Dark County area up. There's 69, I think a 69 mile an hour, and that's not knots, that's miles per hour. Our dew points, Matt, we're going to be up here in the dew points to help support some additional energy into the system. That's that low pressure pulling up. You can see right here how it's kind of drawing it up from the Gulf up to lower states. That's why Dixie Alley is so busy because coming out of the winter months, everything's full. When these fronts come through, it picks up a lot of extra energy and moves it around, and that's where you get these tornadoes popping up. The biggest part there is Dixie Alley. You will hear the tornado before you see it.
That's correct, Al. And quickly, I do want to make mention of something that's going to happen tomorrow morning into early afternoon. And I don't want people to be mistaken or fooled because I know most of the time we say if rain comes out in front of a system, it'll cool it out and kind of die, like kill the system. This
It pulls the energy out.
Yeah. So what's going to happen tomorrow is this rain that's going to come through between, I believe, in certain parts of Ohio and Indiana between 8 and noon, give or take. That is going to be out of here early enough. And as long as the cloud cover goes away, it is just going to do nothing but fuel the dew points and humidity and the moisture in the atmosphere to make it more conducive for severe weather than kill the system out. So where most of the time when you have rain cooled air out in front of a system, it will choke it off. That is not necessarily going to be the case tomorrow. So just keep in mind, if you see rain during the morning, late morning into early afternoon, that is going to do nothing but fuel what we're going to see tomorrow.
Absolutely. More sun is not a good thing tomorrow. One, like that you can see here on my screen, we're at 5 a.m. Got widespread rain, heavy stuff back on the like Terre Haute up to Chicago. We'll bring it forward, follow it as it goes along. Still a lot of rain, pockets of heavy rain, possibly a little rolling thunder there too, Matt. I don't think there could be anything super severe to worry about then. But then you can see there's a lull, and there might even be a break. See right here along central Illinois how it'll start developing real quick and then die back out. But that leaves another spot. This is where it pulls a lot of energy because we've already got the moisture on the ground that's wanting to go back up into the clouds. So that's where it's going to get a little bit more of its energy. I don't think it's going to have too much of the lifting part. But you cannot rule out up here in Ohio quick spin up tornadoes and stuff.
Very correct, Al. We talk about it all the time. Ohio is kind of one of those weird spots where we have all four sets of terrain in one state, which is very rare. We have a mountainous region, we have the valley, we have the black swamp region, and we have the hilly part of south of pretty much your area. I mean, your area, when you come out of the valley and go down 35, there's a lot of hills when you get kind of east of Montgomery County there. So we kind of have
Then you fall right into Miami Valley.
that's true. So, we have kind of a bunch of different terrains, which causes a lot of different unique weather patterns that a lot of other states don't see. So we always say in Ohio, you can have the best forecaster, you can have the best National Weather Service office, but a lot of times it's just a guessing game here.
Yeah. The forecasters are absolutely amazing with getting the forecast out, getting models together, and stuff like that. But terrain can can make a storm change and act uncharacteristic of other storms.
Very correct, Al. Do you mind pulling up your SPC for just 1 second?
Absolutely.
So you can see, just to give you a more broad idea, this is going to be mainly a Western Ohio event. All of Indiana is at least under a slight or an enhanced risk. And then you can see these two pockets of red here. That's going to encompass Memphis, Tennessee,
Right
down.
outside of Little Rock.
Yeah. A lot of those areas, I'm going to venture to say Searcy would be in that area. And we know Searcy from a few years ago, they got hit with that bad storm system that came through the Kentucky
It
area.
was under the boot hill, wasn't it?
Yeah, yep, right in that general area.
Yeah.
So, and people that have recently seen some bad weather, you're going to kind of be under the gun tomorrow. But that Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, Davenport, Iowa City.
Fort Madison. Hey, Matt, and that's something there. Fort Madison has a railway cam down there, and it overlooks the Mississippi River. And we could actually watch some storms roll through Davenport. Well, Fort Madison, Davenport.
If you could click on your tornado probabilities really quick, Al. And that's cool. And that's something we will do on our live streams. If we need to go live, we definitely will rely on rail cams, whether the TV station cameras. We will pull from that just to give you a visual of what we're seeing on radar, just so you guys can get a good view of it. So the reason I wanted to have you pull this up, Al, is you can see this area here we talked about in Iowa, the greater Iowa area. That's a 15% hatched area, as well as down around.
Well, you can see around it is still a 10% hatch.
10% hatch, but when they put out that hatched area, that's definitely something to kind of really pay attention to. And even though we are in Ohio, Michigan, we kind of keep around the border states of Ohio because that's where we're located. We're definitely going to keep an eye out for tomorrow, and we will go live if this does become the event they kind of forecast it to be. And we'll definitely pull from rail cams. We'll get you guys all the resources we can, so you guys can not only get a radar picture, you can get the warnings, but we're also going to get you visual ground proof as best as we can on these storms as well.
Absolutely, man. See, we switched over to the wind category here. You can see up here in the Iowa area along the Mississippi River, between Iowa and Illinois, they're going to, it's a 45%, and that's hatched as well. So you're going to the strong winds going to be coming out of there.
So that's safe to say you're going to see a lot of severe thunderstorm, considerable and severe thunderstorm destructive tomorrow. Those are newer categories for those of you who aren't familiar. And when those winds get 70 miles and above, that's when you start seeing the newer categories of severe thunderstorms. Catastrophic, obviously, is going to be a lot of your trampoline is going to be gone. Your lawn furniture, your neighbors 3 blocks over might find it. But then even still, it can take down large trees. Power lines definitely are at risk. And then you get into that destructive, severe thunderstorm destructive, and that can do home damage, shingle damage,
and an EF or a a severe thunderstorm warning destructive, we're talking an EF0 tornado.
And you see like the wide swath of area that's covering. So that's a large area. And we talked about that earlier. You think about an EF0 tornado, a lot of times in this area, this part of Ohio, you see crop damage, maybe a little bit of shingle damage. But then you spread that out over a large area, now you're talking that same amount, crop damage, tree damage, power lines, and even if it's just shingle or roof damage to a house. But when that happens in multiple counties or multiple states, now you're talking damage in the millions of dollars at this point.
Very true. You can get communities get really bad tornado damage, and it affects that community where these large scale wind events. That's where you start getting declarations of emergency for the entire state, because it covers multiple counties, if not the entire state itself, with some of these wind events.
So I want to kick it over to Rachel really quick. Rachel, can you tell them where they can find us on social media?
Yeah, Matt. So on social media, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube.
And YouTube is where we post most of our videos. And we usually either go live on Facebook or YouTube, depending on the situation. And usually when it's more of a local event, we'll do Facebook. And if it's more of like a national event, we usually stick to YouTube. So we'll definitely, when we're going live, Rachel's really good about letting you guys know in advance. And so you guys can know where to follow us and how to stay safe. So I want to just leave it with this. If you know anybody in that Memphis, Tennessee area, Cedar Rapids, Davenport, Iowa City, those two areas that we've talked about that are in the red, give them a heads up. If they don't know tomorrow, make sure that they are staying weather aware. They can do that by purchasing a NOAA weather radio, staying tuned to regular FM radio, AM, FM radio. Preferably you have a battery powered in case the power goes out. You can also, your cell phones now, the WEA alerts, make sure you're paying attention to them as well. But just give them a heads up and let them know that there is some weather heading in their direction tomorrow. Now, I know Al has some very good friends out in the Davenport area, so I'm sure he's already made them aware of what's going on. And then our dear friend Austin McDowell his hometown is pretty close to that moderate risk for tomorrow. So I'm sure he's let all of his friends and family know back home that they need to be on alert for tomorrow as well. So
absolutely, Matt. Before we cut out here, do you want to go ahead and tell them what our categories are? We're talking about slight, moderate, and all that.
Okay, so what the SPC does is they've ranked the chance for severe weather on a 1 to 5. If you look at, let's say, Cleveland tomorrow, Cleveland is in this pale colored, and that's general thunderstorm. So it's not a very big risk for them to see severe weather. They may see some rumble or hear some rumbles of thunder and see some lightning, but the chances of them seeing widespread severe weather is not likely for tomorrow. And then you go into the darker green, that is a marginal risk, which is usually what they put out for moderate to heavier wind damage, possibility of some hail, maybe a few severe thunderstorms. Then when you get into that yellow, that's when you start getting some more widespread, usually wind damage, thunderstorms, may be more severe in nature. And then you work your way to, I guess that's like a pale orange, like a burnt orange. I guess if you are from Texas, that's a Hook'em Horns, Texas Longhorn orange.
There you go.
That is when you're starting to see your more destructive tornadoes more violent long track tornadoes start to form when you kind of get into that, but it's more of a widespread event than it is, sorry, not widespread, but it's more of a sparse event but there's still a chance for you to see large destructive tornadoes. But when you get into this red here, that's moderate. That's a 4 out of 5. That's almost as high as you can go. And that is when you see, like last week, while we didn't have 100 tornadoes in one day, we did have one mesocyclone put down 13 tornadoes, which included an EF4 and an EF3, and that was in a moderate risk. So that is what you kind of look for when you get to that moderate risk. And then high risk days, I always use 4/27/11 because it was the textbook day. That is where, for lack of better terms, like it is crap's going to hit the fan, for lack of better terms. That's where you see schools, especially like in Oklahoma, down around Alabama, that general area into the southern and southeastern states, they won't even open school. They open public storm shelters. They basically go into emergency planned action on high risk days, because it's not, most of the time, it's not a matter of if, it's how many tornadoes they're going to see and how many large and destructive tornadoes will happen that day. So as weather enthusiasts, as people who follow weather, we don't ever want to see a high risk day, just because usually that's when it's loss of property and loss of life. And that's something you don't ever want to see as somebody who is into weather the way we are.
Absolutely, Matt. It's one of them love-hate relationships. We love what we do, but we hate to do it just because we know how much this affects other lives.
And I think everybody sitting here can say they've seen firsthand the effects of what these large destructive tornadoes can do, and how in the blink of an eye everything changes.
Very correct, Matt. And like Matt said, we're going to keep you up to date with everything that we can to bring you as much information as. But we're not going to keep everybody too long tonight. We just wanted to let you know that we are monitoring the situation. We showed you what we're seeing right now. We will try to get you more information tomorrow. And then, like I said, once stuff starts happening, there's a very high probability that Matt and I and Rachel, if she's around, will be going live and giving you live information as the occurrence is happening. We'll give you all the information as the energy in the air. We'll let you know wind speeds, where the tornadoes are, if there is any, and reports coming in. We can relay information like that, and make sure to hit our like and subscribe button, so that way when we do go live, you'll be able to get a notification. You'll see it, and that way, if you're somewhere we're not really talking about right now, you can drop us a message there on our message board, and we'll pull it right into your town. Like if you was in, we'll say Verona, Ohio, and you was curious on what's going on, how's the weather, zoom in here. How is our weather doing here in our neck of the woods? We'll be able to zoom right into it, and right here.
That's correct, Al. Make sure, like you said, we don't say this because we want followers or we want fame. We want to make sure that we're keeping as many people as we can abreast of the situation when it pertains to severe weather. So please hit the like button, the subscribe button, or whatever form of social media you're seeing this on. Follow us for all the up to the minute information so you can stay safe. Rachel, can you tell them once again where they can find us on social media?
Absolutely, Matt. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube.
Very good, Rachel. Thank you for that. We do our best to check all of the social medias as much as possible. So please feel free to get a hold of us on any of those social media platforms. Ask your questions. We will give you as much information as we can to make your question clearer so you understand that.
That's correct, Al. And I think this would be the perfect time to wrap it up. So, on behalf of myself, Al Dennis, and Rachel Jacobs, we are the professional storm responders where education and safety are our number one priority. Stay tuned. And really quick before I sign off, Al and I have been tracking a potential for next Tuesday into Wednesday, give or take. And obviously things can change a million times before then, but we're tracking the potential for the possibility for some more severe weather then. So that's why it's not only important to pay attention to what we're saying now, but follow us, because we're already looking into the future to make sure we're staying ahead of any weather situation tracking into our area.
Absolutely, Matt. We're here for you. Not you, Matt, but our followers.
Well, I kind
Also,
of go ahead.
if I may add, since we're having some extra severe weather coming up, I did just a few minutes ago post online. It's the Be in the Know from the National Weather Service. It has the 6 ways that they could stay connected to receive warnings. It's the NOAA weather radio, local TV and radio, the weather, wireless emergency alerts and apps from your mobile devices. Listen for your outdoor sirens. Use the weather.gov browser site to go get your information from them if you need be. And then also friends and family and coworkers, like, talk amongst yourselves about the weather. Like, you have to help keep each other safe. So, and again, come to us. If you have any questions, private message us. I do have
I think we lost you there.
my telephone number on a Facebook message. Text me.
Yeah. Very good, Rachel. Also, just wanted to one last time give a special thank you to Chris Scalf, T&J Small Town Sound, big town quality, small town price, and as well as, sorry, I forgot her name, Jessica Schott. Also, congratulations to Jessica. She just had a baby, so congratulations to her.
Absolutely.
We here at the Professional Storm Responders, very glad that everything went well. You had a successful birth, and baby and mom are healthy. So once again, she sells us books, and you can find her on Facebook at Adventures Between the Bookends. So make sure you go give her some love, and not only maybe buy some books, but tell her congratulations on the baby. So yeah. And once again, as always, thank you to you, the viewer, without whom none of this could be possible.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody, thank you very much and have a great night.